The Deepening, why everything you've been told about aging after 40 is a lie. Welcome back to the Soft Girl Era podcast, where we celebrate the unapologetic glow of Black women rising, refining, and radiating in every season of life. I'm your host, Leon Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And today I'm deeply honored to share insights from a conversation that fundamentally shifted how I understand beauty, aging, and visibility. I sat down with Linda Gitau, a 46-year-old mother, global trailblazer, and living embodiment of graceful reinvention. Linda has built a life across multiple countries, navigated career shifts, raised a child, embraced empty nesting, and emerged prioritizing strength, femininity, curiosity, and love. She's making the world better simply by existing fully, by refusing to shrink, by showing us that midlife isn't about fading, it's about finally coming into focus. Her presence alone whispers a truth we desperately need to hear. Beauty doesn't fade after 40. It deepens, it refines, it becomes something richer, more textured, more intentional. And that conversation, it changed everything I thought I knew. Because let's be honest, we live in a world that worships youth with an almost religious fervor. A world that tells women, especially Black women, that our value is tied to how young we look, how much we can do, how little space we take up. We're taught to hustle harder, look younger, stay relevant, keep up. By the time we hit 40, we're exhausted. We've spent decades performing strength, carrying everyone, being the backbone, the glue, the one who never breaks. But here's what nobody tells you about turning 40. The world suddenly starts treating you like you've expired, like your milk past the sell by date, like your best years are behind you, and now you're just being here, taking up space, fading into the background, becoming invisible. Except that's a lie. And Linda Gitau taught me something radical, something that should be shouted from every rooftop. What if we stopped performing? What if we started preserving? Preservation isn't about clinging to youth. It's not about Botox or filters or pretending the years haven't happened. It's about honoring longevity. It's about caring for your body, not out of fear, but out of reverence. Linda prioritizes strength training, bone health, nourishing foods, and mental sanctuaries. Not because she's trying to turn back time, but because she respects the time she has. She understands that her body at 46 is her wisest ally, not her enemy. And that shift from fighting aging to embracing refinement is everything. So, here are three truths I want you to carry forward. Three pearls from my conversation with Linda that every woman, especially every Black woman over 40, needs to hold close. First, preserve your temple with intention. Health isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring the body that has carried you through every storm, every triumph, every heartbreak. Strength training isn't vanity, it's longevity. Bone nourishing foods aren't a trend, they're a necessity. Mental sanctuaries aren't luxuries, they're survival. Your body at 46, at 50, at 60 is not failing you. It's your wisest ally. Treat it like the sacred vessel it is. Linda told me something that stuck with me. She said, aging has been less about loss and more about refinement. And I felt that because refinement isn't about becoming less, it's about becoming more of who you were always meant to be, more intentional, more grounded, more free. Second, reinvention is graceful, not frantic. Midlife shifts, career changes, relocations, recalibrations, they don't have to be loud or desperate. They can be deliberate, intentional, like a lotus unfolding. Linda has started over more than once in different countries, different careers, different seasons of life. And she taught me that reinvention isn't about running from who you were, it's about refining who you're becoming. It's about letting go of the roles that no longer fit and stepping into the ones that do, gracefully, powerfully, without apology. Third, visibility is your birthright. 40 plus doesn't mean invisible, it means fully seen, fully desired, fully magnetic. It means deepening connections that honor your preserved essence. The world may try to tell you otherwise, but Linda Gitau is proof that aging makes you more visible, not less, more compelling, not less, more worthy of love, desire, respect, and space, not less. Now, let me show you what this looks like in action. Let me show you three Black women who turned visibility into empires, who deepened their beauty and their businesses after 40, who refused to fade and instead became forces. Let's talk about Rihanna and Fenty Beauty. Yes, Rihanna launched Fenty Beauty in 2017 at 29, but by 2026, her empire is valued at $2.8 billion. And here's why it matters. She built it by centering Black and Brown women first, by creating 40 plus foundation shades when the rest of the industry was offering maybe 10, by saying, we see you, we value you, you are not an afterthought. Mainstream cosmetics had ignored diverse skin tones for decades, leaving Black women invisible in shade ranges, underserved in funding, overlooked in innovation. Black founders received less than 2% of venture capital. 2%? Let that sink in. But Rihanna didn't wait for permission. She centered us first and forced the entire industry to change. She sparked what's now called the Fenty effect, a ripple that gave birth to Pattern Beauty by Tracy Ellis Ross, Minute Cosmetics, and countless other brands that finally see us. She proved that Black beauty isn't niche, it's universal power. It's a gold mine. And she did it by refusing to let us stay invisible. From teen stardom to mogul motherhood, Rihanna has relocated careers, reinvented herself, and shown us what it looks like to deepen with intention. She didn't fade, she refined. She became more visible, more powerful, more necessary. Now let's talk about Tracy Ellis Ross and Pattern Beauty. Tracy launched Pattern Beauty in 2019 at 47. 47. She was an established actress, a household name, and she could have coasted, but instead she pivoted. She saw a market that had sidelined curly, coily, kinky Black hair for generations and said, not anymore. She built community first products that celebrated textured hair, that turned what the industry called niche into mainstream demand. And it worked. Pattern beauty grew rapidly, proving that there is massive profitability in Black specific innovation. Black hair had been ignored by giants. Funding gaps left Black women entrepreneurs underserved despite higher startup rates. But Tracy transformed curly hair from afterthought to celebrated empire with vivid texture matching formulas that honored our natural beauty. Her midlife launch wasn't a last ditch effort, it was a deliberate bloom, a refinement, a deepening of her purpose and her visibility. She showed us that 47 isn't too late, it's right on time. She echoed Linda's journey, that midlife pivot from one career to another, that emotional recalibration that comes with choosing yourself. And then there's Mented Cosmetics. Founded by KJ Miller and Amanda E. Johnson, with Kathy Phillips joining as a key leader in her mid 40s, they launched Mented in 2017, creating neutral lip shades for deeper skin tones in an industry that had whitewashed every palette. They faced the same capital barriers every Black founder faces. Despite 3.2 million Black owned businesses generating over $200 billion in revenue, Black founders still get scraps when it comes to funding. But Mented bootstrapped, pivoted, relocated their energy and resources, and built a loyal customer base by focusing on what the industry ignored: melanin first beauty. They pioneered palettes that now define modern beauty standards. And they proved that equal funding could add $300 billion to the US. GDP. 300 billion. That's not a niche market. That's economic power. That's visibility turned into empire. That's what happens when Black women are seen, valued, and funded. These women didn't fade after 40, they deepened, they refined, they became more visible, more powerful, more necessary. And so can you. Because here's what Linda Gitau and these trailblazers taught me: aging is not loss, it's refinement. It's shedding the roles that no longer serve you and stepping fully into the ones that do. It's caring for your body with intention, not fear. It's reinventing yourself gracefully, not frantically. It's standing fully visible, fully seen, fully magnetic, and refusing to apologize for taking up space. Linda represents a woman who is visible, grounded, and still open to growth, to beauty, and to meaningful connection. She's learned to care for her body intentionally, prioritizing strength, bone health, nourishment, and mental well being, not out of fear of aging, but out of respect for longevity and quality of life. Starting over in midlife taught her that reinvention doesn't have to be loud or desperate, it can be graceful, deliberate, and deeply fulfilling. And that's the energy we need to carry forward. So here's what I want you to do. This week, I want you to invest in one nourishing ritual. One thing: stand in front of the mirror and affirm your deepening glow. Connect boldly with someone who sees you. Set a boundary without guilt. Rest without explanation. Reinvent one small corner of your life with grace and intention. Just one thing, because that's how we shift from surviving to thriving, one deliberate act at a time. And I want you to feel something when you do it. I want you to feel empowered, seen, softly fierce, like Jill Scott crooning over a heartbeat, like Lauryn Hill lifting your spirit with truth. I want you to feel deepened, not diminished, visible, vibrant, alive, because that's what you are. To every woman listening, especially every Black woman who has spent years in survival mode, carrying everyone, being the backbone, the glue, the one who never breaks, it's time. Time to drop the cape. Time to prioritize your temple. Time to reinvent gracefully. Time to stand fully visible and let the world adjust to your light. Because you are not fading, you are deepening. You are not invisible, you are fully seen. And your beauty, your power, your presence, it's not despite the years. It's because of them. Linda Gitau said aging has been less about loss and more about refinement. And I want you to take that with you. I want you to let it settle in your bones, because refinement is what happens when you stop performing and start preserving, when you stop shrinking and start expanding, when you stop apologizing and start owning every inch of space you deserve. This is not just a conversation about beauty. This is a conversation about reclaiming your narrative, about refusing to let the world dictate your value based on a number, about understanding that 40 plus isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of your most powerful chapter. So here's my challenge to you, and I mean this with everything in me. Stop waiting for permission to be seen. Stop waiting for validation to take up space. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you're still beautiful, still relevant, still worthy. You are, you always have been, and you always will be. Go look in the mirror today and say it out loud. I am deepening. I am refining. I am fully visible. And I am just getting started. Share this message with a woman who needs to hear it. Tag someone who's been told she's too old, too much, too late. Because we're rewriting the script together. We're proving that beauty doesn't fade, it deepens. That 40 plus isn't invisible, it's fully visible. And that every Black woman over 40 deserves to know in her bones that she is worthy, powerful, and absolutely unstoppable. Thank you, Linda Gitau, for showing us what it looks like to age with intention, grace, and unapologetic visibility. Thank you for making the world better simply by refusing to shrink. And to everyone listening, step into your glow, preserve your essence, reinvent gracefully, stand fully visible. Beauty deepens. 40 plus and fully visible. Now go show the world what refinement looks like.